Hello, my name is Kerryath, and today we are going to do a range review for the Genestealer Cults from Games Workshop. We are taking a step away from Forge World for this one, because the last few have been Forge World, and that's fine, but it just makes me want to buy all of the Forge World models, and I know it's having the same effect on you guys, and frankly, half the stuff I want from Forge World, I can't even use anyway. It is literally just going, oh, I want that. Doesn't help anyone, can't use it, no point. Not that this is going to be any better for me, because this is going to be, to be honest, a pretty positive one, because I'm now struggling to think of any Genestealer Cults model that I don't like. I think this is one of the most solid ranges that Games Workshop does. So let's go through. Let's take a look. Start out with your basic boys. Well, not your basic boys. There are slightly more basic boys, but your Genestealer Cults Acolyte and Neophyte hybrids. Because these guys look solid. Genuinely one of the coolest looking units that Games Workshop does. I mean, when you look at these guys, the kind of coherency of design where they all have the similar clothes, but then you've got like a very clear and very easy to understand progression from the ones who are sort of still got a good amount of human in them, and then the ones that absolutely don't have a good amount of human in them. They've just done this squad really, really well. They've done these designs really, really well. Add to that the fact that you have guys with full-on, massive, double-bladed, like, mining buzzsaw weapons, and there's really nothing to complain about. Also, the integration of Tyranid-style swords as well, stuff like that. There's such a good, clear, and just easy-to-follow mix of different aspects to these guys. It's one of the, I think, best designed units. Like, there isn't a bad model in this lot. It also helps that, frankly, the kind of uniform that they come with as standard, these kind of like workers' clothes, but with like reinforced boots and chest, and then you've got the large collars with the cables and what looks like something that could be used for, like, sticking a helmet on and being able to breathe properly, stuff like that. The actual armour itself is really well done, and is super versatile. Just because these guys are Genestealer Cults doesn't mean that you can't take the bodies of them and do other stuff. You absolutely can. These are, like, absolutely ripe for Imperial Guard conversions for a start, which I think, if I remember correctly, on the Warhammer community site a while ago, there was like how to build different Imperial Guard regiments, and the bodies for these were mentioned, and for very good reason. They are not 100% unequivocally only kind of Xenos/traitory things. They can be easily made to look like pretty much anything you like, just because of how well designed they are. And case in point, this lad here, you give him different hands, you give him a different head. He's in a particularly rough Imperial Guard regiment. That's literally all you need to do. You don't need to do anything else. Just super well done models all round. Yeah, they look good, they're versatile, you really can't ask for anything else. And then along with that stuff, I mean, when you go to like full alien, full Xenos, if you will, I think the Broodlord is amazing. The only issue I have with the Broodlord is the tail. I would much prefer the tail to be at the back of him, not sticking in between his legs. That is the only thing that I don't like about the Broodlord. I like everything else. I like the pose, I like the arms, the head is really cool. The spines coming out of the back look awesome. That's my only single gripe. That's it. To be honest, I think that would probably be easily sorted. The Majos looks cool. The collars are just a thing of beauty on these guys. A little bit harder to convert, but not impossible. Also, the vials hanging off his cloak. Actually, look. No, they're not the same ones that are on Mephiston. That's they just for a second I was like, are they the same but painted different? I don't think they are. Yeah, okay, so the Broodlord, taking a look at this, if you did want the tail to be at a different angle, I think it is doable. I think it is. It'd be a bit of hefty green stuff work, but you could kind of Yeah, you could kind of have it so it's back into the side, so it's like on one side of the pipe that he's sitting on. I think you could manage that. You'd have to do a bit of green stuff work in between his legs, but actually I think you could just extend the kind of carapace that's actually between his legs to cover the gap, just with a bit of green stuff. I don't think that'd be too difficult. It is a good model though. It is a really good model. The other thing that I think I've just, for whatever reason, I like non-symmetrical stuff. A lot of the stuff that I do for my knights especially, they are very not symmetrical. And the three-armed thing, I really, really like. Added to which, this is just a badass pose all round. It's a really cool pose. They do look good. And as if just the infantry wasn't enough, they have some of the coolest vehicles. The rock grinder and the truck, like the Goliaths, are super good. They look industrial. They look different to a lot of Imperium stuff, but also similar. They do have still the kind of box like kind of core shape there. They do still have that, but they do properly look like industrial machines just converted to weapons platforms, which I know is the whole point, but even with stuff like that, it can be sometimes a bit easy to make things over the top, like maybe a bit too gothic or a bit too kind of, convenient that the thing that already looked like an armoured transport has now been turned into an armoured transport. This doesn't feel like that. It really does feel like it was made for a thing and is now being used for something totally different. Plus, that big shield on the front is ludicrous. It's silly in the best way. Just a bunch of saws on it. Would that even work? There's like massive gaps in the in the thing. I mean, unless you drive into something and it's either on the left, the right, or dead center, that's not going to help you, is it? It's so good though. It is. I keep having to resist the urge to get one of these just for the big shield on the front, because I would like to put that on one of my Emperor's Children vehicles, but there's no need for it. There's no need. I don't need that. It's not necessary. It would just be funny. Plus then I'd have a Goliath, and I don't know what I'd do with it. Convert it into something else? What could I even convert it into for any of the armies I own? I don't know, but I'm willing to try, frankly. They look so good. And then the thing is, they looked good, and then they came out with the Atalan Jackals and the Ridge Runner, which again are super good vehicles. For a start, it is so refreshing, so unbelievably refreshing to have motorcycles that look like they would actually work. God bless the Space Marines, right? Love Space Marines, love a bit of Space Marine, White Scars, quality chapter. Space Marine bikes are useless. They just are. Look at them. You put them on anything other than the flattest of flat surfaces, and that thing is going absolutely nowhere fast. There is no suspension to speak of whatsoever. It's too low to the ground. It's too wide. It's just not... They're just not good. They are just not good, like, design-wise. I know they're iconic, and I know that there's a lot of fans, but of all of Games Workshop's, like, mechanical issues, with most tanks not having any suspension and bottoming out on the slightest obstacle, the bikes are some of the worst offenders by far. They just don't look believable to me. These do, because these are just dirt bikes. They are just dirt bikes. They look like they would function. Same with the quad bike. The quad bike, again, it is literally just a quad bike, which you could go, oh, well, that's boring, it's not sci-fi. It is, because it's got a mining laser attached to it. That makes it sci-fi. The design is nicely in line with the Goliath, and it's and the Ridge Runner. There's a nice, again, coherency there, where you've got that kind of rounded front, but it's still industrial, and it still looks like a work machine. It's a similar thing with the bikes, where it's just... They look like they would work. They actually look believable, fully believable, which the Space Marine bikes just don't for me. I mean, I would still have a Space Marine bike army. I would just do things to them to try and make them look a bit different. But yeah, you just don't need to do anything to these. They look totally solid. They look feasible. And it's like the extension to things like just the weapons they use, like just a random axe. It just looks like a slightly stronger fire axe, which is so fitting and so perfect for these guys. And they're put in poses that, again, don't look totally unreasonable, which is nice. Plus, that model, that specific with the big dome helmet, that's quality. That's my favourite version of that. That is easily my favourite version of that. Just looks so good. And then you've got the Ridge Runner as well, which again has that great thing of being recognisably part of the same thing, but clearly for a different purpose. It's similar to the Goliath, but it's not the same. It's not just a shrunk down version. It looks a bit sleeker, it looks a bit more streamlined, but you still have exactly the same design cues. Yeah, they've just done such a good job with this range. They really have. My main issue with these guys is that I've thought about having an army of Genestealer Cults before, but like painting them has always intimidated me because there's so much flesh. There's a lot of flesh, there's a lot of bare heads. Now, to be honest, with the changes to how I've painted stuff recently, I feel like I could give these guys a good go now. Which makes it very difficult to resist. Because what I'd really like to do is have like a mostly vehicle army, if that's even a thing you can do. I would assume and hope that it is. That would be nice. Oh god, someone's done something here. We've got to hang on. We've got to look at this. Yeah. Oh my. Oh no. Oh no. I didn't need to see that. I didn't need to see that. I didn't need this. I don't need this. This is what I... Oh no. Why would you do this? Why would you? That's what I want. That's what I want to do. They've taken a great looking vehicle and made it like something out of Mad Max. And now I need that. That specifically is what I need. I don't... Oh god, quick. Take me off the page. Great, the Ridge Runner is great. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh god, let's look at the Metamorphs and hope that I forget about that. Oh Christ. This is bad. I can feel an impulse buy coming on. Let's get on with it. Let's get on with the video. Shit. Alright, let's go. Damn it. Some of them I like more than others. Some of them I like more than others. The one... I realise that what I'm about to say might be unpopular. I'm not sure I like the dangly tentacle face head on these models. It just looks a bit big. I think that's all it is. I think it just looks a bit big. The rest of them I really like. You know, the kind of the slow increase of how much Tyrannid stuff there is on them is really nice, and it works really well with the models. And you know, you can again chart that cool progression from human all the way to what the hell is that thing, and these guys slot in super well. But there's just a slight thing with the one with the tentacly head has just got a bit too much head for the rest of the body. Maybe putting that head on one of the other ones would fix that, actually. Looking at it. Alright. So if we take the tentacle head and put it on... I reckon you could put it on that, and that would work a bit better. I think that would work. Yeah, I think that would work. Because you've got 4 arms there, which gives an increased sense of size to the model. I don't think it's technically really any bigger than the one with the tentacle face currently. But it has more presence. It has more... Yeah, there's just more there, which I think would offset the size of the head a bit better. Because at the moment, that one's got 3 arms. The one with the 4 would give that kind of... Yeah, I think that might work. Also, the robe at the bottom does a lot to fill the model out and make it look bigger than it is too. So actually, Actually, maybe my problem isn't with the head, it's just on the model that it's on in the preview. Because the rest of them I really like. But, yeah, I think you could totally fix that. I say fix it. It's not really fixing it, it's just a personal preference thing. But there's ways around stuff that you don't quite like a lot of the time, isn't there? It's such a creepy model, that one, though. Get out of here with your weird green face. Okay. It's still weird, by the way, seeing everything temporarily out of stock. It's still weird. I know it'll pass, but it's an odd reminder when I keep forgetting. So the aberrants, we're going aberrants. These are some of the coolest models out of the entire range, and the entire range is filled with cool models. They look awful. They're grotesque. They are weird. They are, like, horrifically mutated in some instances. I'm looking at you, guy with 2 heads in 1 head. You absolute freak of nature. And they look so good because of it. They look properly deranged and nightmarish. And it works so well. The improvised weapon that the leader has, like the guy in the front, I would like to see more of that, actually. I know they've got mining equipment. You know, there's pickaxes, they've got pickaxe and hammers, but that massive lump of concrete on the end of a pole it's such a cool weapon. And it fits them really, really well. To be honest, you could probably do some interesting stuff with these guys for turning them into like demonic stuff too. I don't think it would be that difficult, in fairness. Bit of green stuff work here and there, maybe a few spikes sticking out of the flesh. Maybe get some bones and have those in certain areas. Get your mind out of the gutter. You could actually do quite a lot with these guys, I think. And that is an example of a tentacle head that's been super well done. So hang on, let me find the lad. He's not going to have his own turny bit, is he? No, he isn't. Oh, the different colour scheme looks cool. Also, that double arm is quality. Let's turn him around. I think you could do more than Genestealer Cult stuff with this guy. Now I'm looking at him properly. All 5 of them. It's so awful in the best way. It's grotesque. Grotesque is the word, I think, here. See, if the tail on the Broodlord was like the tail on this guy, that would make the Broodlord model perfect. That would make it perfect. In fact, you just do that, yeah. Don't have it trying to go like down into the side of the pipe. You could just turn the tail, green stuff the gap so that it's coming around his leg. Same as this guy's. Super easy fix for that. Again, I say fix, it's just personal preference thing. It's not actually fixing it. There's nothing wrong with it. Look at him though. The big strong lads. Ooh, got a bit of a jerky spin preview there, but that's fine. So good. So good. The aberrants are so good. So we've had a look at the neophytes and the hybrids already. They come in one box, which I quite like. It's a good setup, that. The Brood Brothers, one of the most recent Imperial Guard upgrades or updates, and it was so that they could be used for a different faction. But the upgrade parts are cool on these guys. You got that first progression with the little weird ridged heads, in the addition of like masks and eye lenses. Makes them look nicely sinister, nicely kind of Rebel Force-esque. You just got the dude who just looks normal on that one. It's just the spotter for the auto cannon. He just looks normal, just your standard guy. Everyone else has got ridges and stuff all over them. Brian, why have you got what's that weird stuff on your head? Don't worry about it. Just ignore it. It's fine. Leave it alone. And then of course you've got some special characters. You've got the Sentinel, which is still a classic kit, still looks cool. Jackal Alphas, I do like this one as the standalone bike model. A lot of that is how it's painted in the preview, admittedly, but the sniper rifle looks quality. And the bike, I mean, it's just the same as the other bikes, so it looks good. It looks functional. I think of all of the character models, though, really, the two that stand out, you've got the Locust. The Locust does look good, but the Locust actually looks very different to a lot of the other stuff because of, like, I guess, like, his position, what he does. He looks very overt, very stylized, very not like the other guys. It's the robe that does it for the most part. The robe and obviously the massive symbol isn't helping either in terms of subtlety, but the others all have this air of normality still, as though they've been twisted and turned into something else, whereas this guy doesn't really have that. Which is not a problem. It's still a cool model, but it does have a different flavour to the others, I find. Kind of, in a way, similar with the Magus, although she still kind of looks like she, at one point, may have been pretty normal. The hood, of course, does not look normal. The hood looks crazy. In fact, the hood's so excessive. I like it. I like it a lot. Still not as excessive as Mephiston's ridiculous collar, though, is it? Let's be honest. And she has that nice kind of inexorable pose where it just looks like she's going to walk towards you and murder you whether you like it or not. Which I like a good striding towards you so that you will meet your doom kind of pose. But let's be honest, the Metamorph and the Clamorverse. Why GW? Why? You cannot go wrong with a gunslinger with 3 arms. You just can't. You can't go wrong with that. I mean, look at it. Look at the lad. He's got 3 guns. One of them is a revolver, which is great. Is the other one a revolver as well? That's actually confusing. One of them has got what looks like more detail than the other. That's odd. I've never noticed that before. They look like technically the same gun, but one of them's got kind of cut out sections in the chamber, and the other one doesn't. Weird. I suppose they're not technically the same gun, are they? They're very similar construction, similar design, but they're not actually the same. They're just close enough that it looks a little bit weird. It's still such a good model, though. It's a great model. Just the concept alone, the 3-armed gunslinger, that automatically makes it good. The model being good helps, but yeah. And the Clamorverse, or the Space DJ. Again, it's he looks more like one who's been twisted and turned, but he's also properly racking out some banging tunes on his little deck there. He's going for it, hyping the lads up, which is a great Battlefield role. Also, the fact that his speaker has got a little Genestealer holding a smaller speaker above it, I love that. I love that detail. They've like carved, made like a little Genestealer ornament to go on his big speaker stick. Excellent concept. Very well executed. Also, that properly just looks like an old school radio. Got a cassette player. Presumably you've got a rewind, play, fast forward and stop. And then at the top, you've got your old style AM, FM radio. No DAB. There's no DAB in Warhammer 40k. No, you just stuck with the old signals. And he carries his favourite cassettes with him, which is always nice. Always nice to see that he carries his favourite tunes around. never really noticed the back of that guy before. That's amazing. Amazing in a weird way. The Nexus, I have to admit, gets bonus points just for the cheek of it. But there being, like, Warhammer World references going on. Which I do approve of wholeheartedly. It is also a cool model, which does help. It looks like he's concentrating pretty hard. He's got his classic old phone out there. The portable brick. It's a good model. The Icon Ward, again, looks cool. I think we saw him in the big box with the Neophytes and Acolytes. The Abominant is... I like it. My only issue with this model is that the face, I think, is easy to not quite nail. Stop doing that. Due to the nature of it, the way that it's split, I feel like there's actually a bit of a challenge there. Because you can see that it's got like that second nose that's coming down, and then there's like another eye socket next to it. I feel like that's something whereby if you don't pay a decent amount of attention, it's easy to lose a bit of the kind of nightmarish definition on that face. It's a really good model overall, and his little creepy pal, who's just, what the hell is going on there? Awful. That has like just a layer of like almost body horror that's a bit uncomfortable in a good way. I'd really like some... I want to find some way of using that hammer for something. Other than hitting people. I mean, it'd be fun to give someone else as a weapon, but I don't know who else would carry it. Look at it. Ugh, creepy. Creepy in the best way. And then finally we've got the Biophages and the Sanctus. The Biophages is awesome. I love his injection stick. It's great. His little assistant carrying a large vial of chemicals is fantastic. It's so good. He just looks like a proper mad doctor. Maybe even a little bit cheesy in a way. The Biophages, maybe a little bit over the top. He's got like his operating light on an arm. It's so I don't know, like super villain. The fact that he carries around his injection stick and he has like an operating light and he's got the goggles, but then there's a lens and then there's another lens. It's like, it's almost Bond villain-esque in a way. Which I'm not sure whether that was intentional or not, but, you know, if it was, fair play. And then the Sanctus, which is a really cool assassin model. Works super well. I don't know whether the little helper there, I don't think that adds a huge amount. I think it's fun, but I don't think it's necessary. And you could easily get away with not putting him on there, and I don't think you'd lose anything from that. And on the one hand, having a little Genestealer with its own set of tactical goggles is hilarious. But I don't think it necessarily does much for the model itself. It's a fun addition, not really required to get the impact for this model. I will say as well, the sniper rifle kind of alternative does look good. Just that little fella kills me. What is he even doing there? Nutter. Absolute nutter. Okay, so that is the Genestealer Cults stuff. Really, really solid range overall. You can guess where I'm going, can't you? You can guess where I'm going. I'm going back to the Land of Temptation. I'm going back to the Land of Temptation because I love that so much. It looks so good. It's a solid range overall. Like, the few complaints that I have are so minor and so subjective that they don't really count for anything. It's one of the most cohesive, well-designed, I think versatile ranges as well. Pretty much any colour scheme looks good on a lot of those models too. It's super, super well done. Super well done. And that might be the most dangerous thing to happen to me all week. Let me know what you think of the Genestealer Cults range in the comments down below. Any particular favourites? Any that you're not really a fan of? Any that you feel don't fit quite as well as some of the others? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like. Don't click it if you don't want to. As always, there's an affiliate link in the description for Element Games, where if you buy something, I get something for sending that way. You save a bunch of money. You were going to buy that stuff anyway. It's a nice way to support the channel, and some of it goes to charity at the end of the month too. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.